Maybe you put this on.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Yeah, big round of applause for Pele. Together. Oh my god, how do I just think I know you? Starts with an E. Yeah, but E is the only thing that's stuck in my mind right now. That's Elazar. Elazar. Sorry, I love Elazar too. I love Elazar. I love his jokes. He's a philosophy major and acting student. Like, yeah, sorry about that. I got shook. I live here in Jerusalem. I do stand up here in Jerusalem. I have never performed next to a set of Talmud Bavlis before. This is a new time. Like, this is incredible. No, I love this place. It's a cool, old, and ancient. I don't know. I like this neighborhood. Yeah, I don't know, I like hanging out here, and I'm really happy, like, once this got started, it's funny, like, the rhythm of stand-up just feels good, yeah, it can be like a real pick-me-up, even if I had a bad day, and I had a bad day. Yeah, I was bummed before the show started, sitting over there, because, like, 30 minutes before, I, was on the phone, text message with a girlfriend, and she broke up with me. Yeah, I know. And it was terrible timing because it was literally hours after I had broken up with my other girlfriend. And now I only have 13 girlfriends left. And I don't know what a guy like me is to do with only 13 girlfriends. Maybe read the Talmud is what I should do. No, that's all just jokes. I'm inventing people. I don't know, Joan was talking earlier about volunteering, and I said, yeah, and I shook my head, yeah, I volunteer, and then I couldn't remember what I do because I feel like all I do is work for no money. Like, that is life for me here. It's all good though, I don't know. I teach a bit too, like Raquel was saying, I've been teaching English. I've been out here about 3 years. Decided to get into teaching English because I wanted to work outside of America without, wasn't sure I was going to know a local language, wasn't sure I was going to come to Israel first, but decided to come to Israel and then I didn't want to leave. And yeah, I don't know, teaching English it can be crazy. It's, not only did I want to work outside of America, but I also was drawn to teaching because of the saying that those who can't do, teach. And I was like, I don't want to do. Does that mean I should get into this? Like, I thought it meant that I was going to go to the laundromat and be doing laundry and someone would be like, whoa, we can't let you do that. You're a teacher. Teachers can't do. Teach. I'd be doing dishes and someone would step in and say, no, we can't let you do that. But no, it turns out you have to do a lot as a teacher. And like crazy things happen in the classroom. I've worked mostly with elementary schools. Lately, last year I got to teach some high school debate programs, which was pretty cool, and Model UN. But yeah, my first year out here, it was elementary schools, and I couldn't believe how mature some of these kids were for their age and their disappointment of the whole thing. I remember we used to bribe the kids with candy sometimes to try and get them to do assignments, and one kid wised up to the whole thing and threw his fist in the air and said, "We don't want candy, we want freedom." I was like, wow, I will join that revolution. Tell me where we're protesting. I'm in for that. One other kid, a third grader, throws his head in his hand and says, "What am I even doing with my life right now?" Like, man, how do you think I feel? I'm back in elementary school. But the weirdest one was that there was one kid, I was teaching at a religious school in remote, and this one kid, the class was chaos, pandemonium, and all of a sudden, he just screams at the top of his lungs, 42069. And I was like, how do you know that? And he goes, why? What does it mean? I was like, I'm not explaining this to you. If you know, you know. But if you don't, then you know. Anyway, so about a week goes by and he comes back and I see him and he's like, taps me on the shoulder and he goes, hey, 4.6. I looked it up. I was like, all right, really, I couldn't tell if he was traumatized or if he's having the summer of his life right now. Could have gone one of two directions, but I feel like it's weird when teaching a foreign language to have to explain to people that like, not only are there bad words, but there's also bad numbers. I'm like, just don't count above 50 for right now. It's not safe for you up there. Who knows what you could run into? I don't know, speaking of numbers, like I'm self-conscious about my age sometimes because I'm not where I thought I would be at this point. And sometimes our friends try and cheer me up and they're like, Kenny, don't worry about it, because age is just a number. Don't worry about it, age is just a number. It's like, yeah, I mean, I get that age is a number, but it's not, nothing's just a number. Like, let's not throw out numbers just because we're upset about how old we are. Numbers are important. Numbers tell me what the temperature is, so I know how to dress for the day. Numbers tell me what my rent is. It's not like I can go up to my landlord and be like, hey man, rent is just a number, bro. I should be more open-minded. Accept this younger amount of money from me. No, things don't work like that. I don't know. But I don't know, yeah, number, like, the other day I went out on a date and a friend of mine later on asked me how it went. I wrote back and I was like 7 out of 10. And then I looked at the text message and I was like, oh man, no. October 7th has ruined that rating. You can't rate anything 7 out of... You can write out 7 out of 10, but you can't say 7/10 anymore. You have to round up or down. Yeah, it is. There's another end to that joke, but it's a little racy, and the helmets are staring at me. You have to... I don't know. Then I'm also next to this magazine, which I love. I can read barely any of it, but I have the first 2 issues and sit at home and translate them when I can. It's just like cool underground art stuff around Jerusalem. And weirdly, there was an article in there about a girl who I know around here. Like, I've been to events that she'd put on, and I weirdly had loud conversations near her thinking she didn't understand what I was saying, but she explains in there that no, her parents are American, she understands English very well. And yeah, like I've been out here for 3 years, and my reading and writing in Hebrew is getting a lot better, but because I keep teaching English, my speaking and listening especially is just not there. It's annoying because I've moved around the States a lot. I know how to make friends in new cities. Go sit at the bar, overhear a conversation, chime in, but here I can't overhear anything anyone's talking about and make sense of it. So I have to clumsily go up and hi, I'd like to meet you, or I'd like to talk to you. And it doesn't work. It's not cool. It's not smooth. So let me work on my listening. My listening's good enough now that usually I understand things Israelis say to me the second time they say it. Because the second time they say it a lot slower and clearer and in English. And that helps a lot. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've been out here about 3 years. I came out and was a lot more strictly religious. In that sense, I grew up with a Reformed family. Being Jewish was a big part of our identity, but to us, it meant we eat corned beef sandwiches and are funny. And those are the 2 main criteria. like a Shabbat dinner a couple times a year, go to synagogue here and there, but we weren't like, really observant. And then out here I decided to be for the beginning, but it wasn't quite working with my personality, like my other interests and things. And it was interesting because people would call it like shomer, you shomer, kashrut, you shomer Shabbat, you shomer Yid. And then, and that means guard, or at least the way it translates to. And it always, I don't know, it felt like a strong term for me until I saw one time a crossing guard here in Jerusalem wearing a bucket cap with marijuana leaves on it. And I was like, I'm shomer like that guy. That's the guard that I am. Like not every guard keeps everyone out. Not everyone's guard duty is to shoot on sight when they see an intruder. Some guards work the gate and you let people through. You show her to give? Yeah. Is she cute? Okay, credentials, let her in. You show her Shabbat? Yeah. Is there a good concert tonight? All right, open the gate, let's go. And that's kind of where I'm at now. It's like, sometimes I'll go to shul, maybe finish, but maybe I'll go out for a pizza on Friday night or something. And it's like, and as I do that, I find it so interesting that, to me, being here is like cool because I'm in a country of mostly Jews, and it's done in that kind of ideology. And so I don't know, so being like inside and looking out again, it's so interesting to me that there's such a group of people that like, their identity is we don't eat pizzas on Friday night. And like that's they'll put it in their dating profile, but like I'm also looking for someone who won't eat a pizza on Friday night. And like it's such a big deal to people. But I don't know, I'm there with it spiritually. A lot of things, what I like to do on when it comes up on Friday nights now is I like to go out to like experimental noise shows. Same thing. I've always been into like punk and weird music, and out in Jerusalem, like in the underground, like this magazine talks about, there's a couple of weird places. Like there's Rash Records, Noise Records down in Talpiot Industrial. There's Bessarabia has some sometimes, and I've been going out to these shows for a long time, and it's weird that I always call it like experimental noise music, but it never sounds like the experiment went right. It's like we conducted an experiment to see if we could use an echo microphone, a looping pedal, and record a hammer hitting a nail and see if it makes music. Our hypothesis was yes. The results were no. But we'll present our experiment to you anyway. And those are the types of things I like. And it's like, there are weird shows that happen in weird venues. Sometimes there'll even be a lot of house shows and things. And so there's like people living there while you're watching these bands play or watching these music acts play. And the other night I went to one, and I thought I was checking out the merch table. I wanted to buy some from the band. It turned out, no, that is someone's laundry that they are leaving out to dry. And it turned out I had just paid 60 shekels for someone's dirty boxers. Granted, the noise act that night was called Skid Mark, so it made sense. But anyways, you guys have been great. It's been a lot of fun to do stand-up comedy here, and thank you for it.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody that was out. Thank you so much.